Oh, nice.
I remembered.
You remembered.
Haha. Take that, technology. So I am here for Julie. Julie's taking a little vacation, a little breather, and we're here. We're riding high on the excitement and our laurels of having an extraordinarily awesome weekend because of San Diego bibliophiles who came out in force to participate in the San Diego Book Crawl and Independent Bookstore Day, and it's just amazing. Every time I'm astounded at how warm and wonderful and excited everyone is to participate and visit all the bookstores that are participating in the crawl and discover new places, new bookstores. This year we had a newcomer in the crawl, Liba Lula Books in Barrio Logan, that people got to visit for the first time in a lot of cases. And anyway, it was just a great weekend. And I'm very thankful to have our reps here today with us, talk about some new books. Amanda was just saying she had a hard time choosing which books to talk about today because tomorrow is a big release day. They seem to be coming more and more often, just these tremendously rich and exciting release days. So with that, Gabe will go first. And I mentioned to him in the green room, I heard that during the crawl, there was a fangirl moment where one of our very dedicated Warwick's customers, Susan, spotted Gabe as he was doing the book crawl. And
I was recognized. I was like getting so I can't go anywhere. I was telling
yeah, you're gonna need a bodyguard.
Don't say these things. You're just going to inflate his head even more.
Well, you're going to have to definitely make sure you have a pen with you at all times now.
I'm going to have
find
to
the autographs.
Yes, that is me.
Yep.
Yes, it's always cute at Warwick. It's the only place I'm recognized.
Well, with that, Gabe from Tea Time, start us
So
off.
I'm going to share my screen because Amanda has enabled it without even having to be asked. In A Lasting Home, a novel by Mael Al-Nakib. And this is one of these novels that takes you away from the States, and you get a taste of both countries. We have a young woman who has grown up. She is from Kuwait originally. She grows up, she gets an education, and moves to the States and is teaching in the States university. And then her mother passes, and as you know, many of us have been called home, and you got to go take care of spend the last days with your parents and close up all the business. And she was ready to finish all that and then move back to the States. And 11 years later, she's teaching at the university still. And during the course of teaching philosophy, she teaches Nishi, and she's reported as teaching unsuitable materials, and she's got the possibility of getting her head lopped off. So the book has got a very Western sensibility, as well as opening up this window to this other world and how dramatically life can change in a theocracy, and why they can be dangerous. And combined with a backstory of her grandmother, there's a little history embedded in the narrative as she's looking back at the women in her world, and we see how life has been for these women over the past 60, 70 years or so, in a country that's dramatically changed a few times. Interesting novel, really well written. It's one of our main imprints. This is one of those books, it published April the 12th, that I've been wanting to talk about. And honestly, I've had so many books to talk about. I always had to prune something, but this April 12th release was a really good release. So check this out. I think it's a really strong novel, eye-opening, shocking, and it'll, get your blood boiling and keep it turning the pages.
Debut novelist?
I think so.
Cool. Thank you. That's heavy.
You know, life is, as we've seen, this, I mean, any day. Wake up
Indeed.
any day.
Okay, Amanda.
Unmuted. There we go. Can I share my screen? There we go. Okay, so the first one I have actually is a paperback that we have coming out tomorrow. We had so many great books, but even with our paperbacks, we had so many good paperbacks coming out. I was like, So I decided to go with The Sweetness of Water by Nathan Harris, which was an Oprah Book Club pick of 2021. It also won the Booker Prize for 2021. I mean, this book is just fabulous. Like, I felt like I could not talk about it today with you all here today. So here we go. This is his first novel, and it is so again, all of these great accolades for it, very exciting. So it's in the waning days of the Civil War. Brothers Prentice and Landry, freed by the Emancipation Proclamation, seek refuge on the homestead of George Walker and his wife Isabel. The Walkers, racked by the loss of their only son to the war, hire the brothers to work their farm, hoping through an unexpected friendship to help with their grief. So the brothers, Prentice and Landry, meanwhile, plan to save money for their own journey north so they can try and reunite with their mother, who was sold away when the boys were young. Again, there's just a lot going on in this book. It is just a fantastic read. It's definitely one to get. If you missed this one in hardcover, definitely come back and pick it up in the paperback format. You will definitely not be disappointed in this read, and it definitely is a must-have for everybody. So there you go, Sweetness of Water by Nathan Harris.
Looks like a book group pick to me.
You just really, I mean, it's just an amazing story, and you must read it. It's just a must read for everybody. So
we have an author endorsement in the chat. Laura Engel says it's an amazing read, and Beth Johnson said she missed this one, so she's glad it was mentioned.
I did too. It's totally right up my alley.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely one of the, I mean, especially with all the attention, there's just so many books out in the world. It's very easy to pass and miss any book, any big book. And that's why I was like, there were so many other hardcovers. I'm like, but I really want to mention this one just because of how great it is. So that is definitely why I brought this one back up in the paperback format, because it definitely a must read.
Better cover on the paperback too.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't know, that whole type. I just looking at it in the hardback. I don't know. I like the image.
Yeah, they look very different. I keep saying, I mean, I know we're not supposed to judge by the covers, but we do.
We do
spend a lot of
anyway.
money.
We all, I mean, I
Spend
know.
a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, we spend a lot of attention on. There's always lots of conversations in our meetings about covers. Lots of conversations about covers. What we like, what we don't like, little things even, you know. So
I'm just happy that the publishing industry has finally learned to take a cue from the music industry. Think about all of the great covers that sold records and made bands platinum sellers back in the day. And it took a while. You know, a lot of like the old school covers were just all type, that sort of thing. So it's just nice to see that you know, publishers are paying attention these days.
Yeah, I'm always impressed at these designers who come up with a completely different jacket for a series. For example, it's like, wow, it's a completely different jacket, but man, you totally know it's the same series of books or whatever they do.
That's a skill. I mean, that really, jacket design is a skill, but the typography as well as the imagery, oh, forget it. I don't think I could definitely not do that myself at all. So kudos to them.
I'm always startled too at the differences between UK covers and ours. It's really interesting.
Well, the UK's come a long way.
Everyone's got different tastes though, like that, like different parts of the world, they have like different taste, and even like generationally, that's why there's books that are, you know, every 10, 12 years, some books get like a little refresh on the cover to appeal to the whole new generation, you know?
New haircut, who dis? Okay, Andrea's turn.
Okay, can I share?
Yes. Let me set that up here. Okay.
Come on, baby. All right. The first book I want to talk about is All the Secrets of the World. This is by Steve Almond. It's a novel. This is his first novel, even though he's been publishing short stories and short story collections for about 30 years. So it's an exciting event for anyone who's a short story aficionado to see him cross over the bridge to a full-fledged novel. And he proves himself in this debut novel that he proves that he can do it. This is from Zando. This is a new publisher that was formed by the founding publisher of Hogarth. And so we're pretty happy to have them aboard with us. And this is a $28 hardcover, and it's out tomorrow officially. This is set in 1971 in Sacramento, California, during the Reagan years, of course, and comes basically into it like dovetails right into when this country was becoming all about law and order, for better or worse. And there's a great set of characters here, and it's sort of a mix between Little Fires Everywhere and Breaking Bad. So it's got police procedural elements, literary fiction, but also it's very commercial because of the just the swift and quick read. And some, I mean, it's so, the storyline is so propulsive that I don't think that you can really put this down. So it's got a lot of things going for it. Let's see, what is Elizabeth Gilbert says Steve Almond is a fierce talent, a writer who possesses both a deep heart and sharp edge. So that's great. It's got, she also says that it, I can't read these quotes right now because, because, sorry about that. I might not be able to do it because my little Zoom screen here is like blocking it, but you know, oh well, technical difficulties, what can you do? Anyway, it's just a great book, All the Secrets of the World. And it's a nice little cover there too. So thanks for dealing with me in my discombobulated state, folks.
Those are very good blurbs. I see Anthony Doerr in there.
Yeah, there's some great ones. George Saunders, another great short story talent, has a good one from him, for him. So yeah, it's getting a lot of good pre-pub attention, and I think it's gonna do very well.
We
And
loved
another
Candy
cool-
Freak at our house back in 2003, 4, something like that.
Yep, it's a great collection.
Beth wants you to know you are fabulous, Andrea.
Beth, you are fabulous. We
She
all
is.
love you, and thank you for supporting independent bookstores.
Yeah. Oh, I feel a lot of love right now. Okay, back to Gabe.
Walking the Walk. Another book that's been out a couple of weeks, Hello Molly by Molly Shannon. I think it's hard not to know Molly Shannon at this point. It is, she's been all over the place. She was just really good in The White Lotus, playing one of the main characters' mom. Out of her mind, always out of her mind. But a really interesting memoir, really fun memoir, because she was a very physical comedian, and she talks about things like, I mean, she came up kind of the hard way, and she took a lot of knocks. and she was always twisting and bending something or other in her physicality. She also has, a growing up story that's really interesting. So we get a lot of Molly Shannon from, early on, her basic middle American kind of upbringing. But there's a lot of pathos in this book. She tells her story really in a great voice. You don't know what to expect when you get an author, and an author who's written her own book. But her voice really comes across here, and it's really a sweet narrative. And there's some heavy moments in here that you take, but they're quelled by the enveloping warmth of this memoir. It really is a charmer. I enjoyed it a lot. I started reading memoirs eons ago, stumbled upon the genre accidentally, and occasionally pick one up that catches my fancy. And this I just picked up out of curiosity's sake, because it was going to be a big book and you want to know what it's about. It's the kind of book you figure you're going to read 25, 50 pages, 30, 50 pages, get a feel for it. And she kept me turning the pages. She kept me wanting to know more. And the narrative is just pulls you along, and you put it down and you're thinking about it. And it's like, when I go to bed tonight, I'm going to pick up the Molly Shannon where I left off. And you're like looking forward to that, because it's good. It puts you in a good spot. So I really recommend this one in a world of a lot of celeb bios, and everybody thinks they've got something to say, and they may have something to say, but they don't know quite how to say it. I think Molly did a really good job here.
I just now, after seeing that book a few times, got that it's a pun on Hello Dolly. I don't know how I missed that.
You're too young. That's why, you kids. But you even know that.
My dad would always sing it. Okay, Amanda, your turn.
All right, so next up, I have a book from our forever title, which is all of our rom-coms. This one is called Blame It on the Brontes by Annie Sereno. So here we go. English professor Athena Murphy is the authorian on the novels of the Bronte sisters. But as they say in academia, publish or perish. To save her job, she decides she's going to write a biography on C.L. Garland, which is an author that's heating up the bestseller list with their spicy retellings of classic literature. In order to track down this reclusive writer and uncovering her secret identity, Athena must return to her small Midwestern town where she runs into her ex-boyfriend, Thorne Kent. Seeing him again reminds Athena that life is never as good as it is in the books. He was the Heathcliff to her Catherine, the Mr. Rochester to her Jane, and they broke each other's heart not once, but twice. But now she has to see him every single day. So she is determined to find out who C.L. Garland is as quickly as possible, write her book, and get the heck out of town. But of course, as the days go on, her and Thorne bicker and banter their way back to a friendship. And who knows what they say, maybe third time really is a charm. So there we go. Blame It on the Brontes.
That sounds adorable. And there's a pug on it.
I mean, you can never go wrong when you have a dog on the cover and books. I mean, come on now.
Thorne Kent. What a great gothic love interest name.
I love it. I love
Very
it.
good.
I love rom-coms. You can never go wrong with a nice rom-com, I gotta say.
Sounds fun. Okay, Andrea.
I want to talk about All the Lovers in the Night. This is by Miyako Kawakami, and she is the author of the bestseller, the indie bestseller, Breasts and Eggs. And sorry, you guys, I'm having one of these things where, okay, I'm not going to show you like the cover because I have a copy here, but anyway, this is about, well, she's continuing her major themes, which is exploring the female body and how it's been misunderstood and subverted in many ways by the greater society. But also she can really tell a story. So it's, she's got some feminist issues that she explores, but she does it through plot. It's not postmodern. Although her work is uncategorizable for sure. But this follows a protagonist who's a freelance copy editor, Fuyoko Iri. And she's working and living alone in a city where it's not really easy to make friends and explore new relationships, and doesn't have any sort of really relationships outside of work with her editor, which is another woman about the same age. And so one day our protagonist is out in the world and sees her reflection in a store window, and sees this. She's shocked to see that she's become sort of a drab, spiritless woman, and wonders what happened to herself and decides to do something about it. And then so ensues the rest of this novel. I'm not going to give too much away, but I just think that Kawakami really has a fresh take to the novel. It's great to see her win friends in the English-speaking world, friends and readers. And this is a Europa Editions title, and they know how to make things work in translation. They always really work to secure the best translator. This is translated by Sam Brett. And I just think it's another winner from the best-selling author of Breasts and Eggs. This is All the Lovers in the Night. It is $28 hardcover, and this is from Europa Editions, and it's out tomorrow. There's a stack at the store, and I really do hope that y'all will pick her up and see what she's all about. This was an indie bestseller too. This is a pick for May indie bestsellers list. So a lot of indie booksellers across the land feel the same way about this title.
Do you think if someone hasn't read her before, do you think it's a good place to start, or would you rather have someone pick up Breasts and Eggs first? Or
I think you could I think you can dig in. This is, I think, her most mature work, and so it's a good place to start. I mean, Breasts and Eggs has its place in a lot of booksellers and publishing folks' hearts for sure. And it's sold like hotcakes. I mean, we couldn't keep it in stock for a long time during the lockdown period. And but this is just fine as a place to start. And then if you or buy both books and then see how she's matured.
that's a good solution.
That's a salesperson solution.
Well, the publishers like that angle too.
I mean, we all like that angle. The
Yep.
bookstore sells another book. The
Yep.
book buyer enjoys another wonderful read.
Yeah.
So nice to sell
Yep.
books.
And
don't
also,
feel
if
guilty.
if you're into visual aesthetics, the two covers do mirror each other too. So it will look nice, faced out on your bookshelves at home.
That's cool.
Because regular people face out their books.
All the time. Don't you? I do.
I do, but we're odd that way. Deborah's got she just read it, so it goes faced out. She finishes something, it's like an announcement. I just finished it. It's like face out.
Worse yet, I go into other bookstores and do face outs of books I
Oh,
like.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah,
too.
I do that too.
If they don't
Or-
tighten up their spines, they're just leaving it right for somebody to straighten it out. It's always I always manage to find a Harper Morrow Harlequin book to get
You know
out
what's-
there.
Yeah. It's like, it's crazy, but you know what's really weird? Like, even if you're just browsing in a store and not doing anything like that, people will come up to you and go, "Do you work here?" And it's like, well, no, but what can I help you with?
I straighten.
Do you
Yeah,
have a
I'm like,
recommendation?
let me just fix these little stacks here, or that
Because they
book's so
saw you,
cute. Let me just
they
fix
saw
it.
you straighten a stack or something, and they assumed you worked there. You subconsciously do it, and you're just like, "Why me?" And you just like,
Yeah, it's weird, like, because it's happened to me when I haven't started to do the face out thing. And it's like, okay, what is that about? That people just know. There's like, it's
Nerd.
instinctual.
It's a vibe. You give off the book vibe.
the nerd vibe.
Yep.
It's weird. That happens to me a lot in Target. I don't know. I must just have permanent retail, like,
But Target, you gotta wear
Or,
the red. But Target's got the red on. Like, if
I
you-
know, and I'll be wearing something totally normal. I'll be
That's-
wearing like a bag. It's really strange. I don't get it.
Hmm.
I try to help, but
I think I saw some over there.
okay, we're making good time. You want to start the lightning round, Gabe? I won't bring out a buzzer or anything.
Lightning round, man. I got time for 2 more books if you have, if you want me to.
If
I
you
could
want.
stay late, teacher. Here's a book that I just completely forgot to talk about because I've just had so many books jammed in that I've been wanting to talk about. And it's Gardening for Everyone by Julia Watkins. What I liked about this book is there are a ton of gardening books out there. I think more and more people are actually doing a little gardening, and a lot of people want to start. And it's like, I know I can, what I love about this book is I think it's good for the beginner gardener, and it's got a great price at like $26.99 for a 300-page, lavish, pretty well illustrated book. And it is all the basics on gardening and creating small beds, using planters, even just like a windowsill kind of a planter. You could grow some herbs and stuff. And I think a lot of people may just need a little bit of a push. It's really easy. And we don't do much at our house. I mean, Deborah bakes bread and stuff, but as far as gardening goes necessarily, but on the vegetable front, because we don't have a lot of space, but we do grow a number of herbs. And you know what? It's really satisfying when I need some chives. I just go out back and trim up some chives or some basil or dill or thyme, whatever, for the tomatoes, and go out there and trim your own stuff. And it's a little thing. And I probably save like $2 a week on herbs that way. But it's really satisfying, and they're really fresh and they're overflowing, and your garden looks pretty, and it doesn't take much energy except putting it down. So it shows you how to create what they call like lasagna planting, which is various levels of like something big to breathe underneath, and then something to absorb, and something to keep water, some paper and rocks and figs and manure and blah blah blah. So all very simple, all very doable, nothing really terribly expensive. So I think it's a good one to give to somebody who's just moved into a new place and they don't know quite what to, if they moved in. I think it's a good kind of a gift like that, a good host gift. Get somebody going on the gardening front.
I thought you meant like lasagna gardening, like all the things you need to make lasagna.
Yes, you're gonna grow your tomatoes and
Uh-huh.
your basil
Exactly.
and
Your herbs.
herbs and all. That's what I thought
You
it
can
was.
make your own cheese, Apparently it's not difficult.
Yeah,
I
I
keep
got
telling
mine
Deborah.
somewhere. I did grow my own garden. I had my own garden for a little while. I don't have the space anymore, but I do have a lemon tree. His name is Meyer, and he's got little baby lemons that I'm hoping finally after 2 years he will produce lemons and not be a freeloader anymore.
And they are actually Meyer lemons.
Yes, he is
Those
a
are the-
Meyer lemon tree.
Those are the best. I eat those whole. They're so good.
I check him every day,
So good.
and I give him words of encouragement to grow lemons.
Gabe, good question from Beth Johnson. Is that gardening book for any certain place in the country? Is it California based?
It's really kind of general. So it's all about more equipment and setups. It's not like a big regional kind of a guide. I think, there's some basic parameters on temperatures, et cetera, sun, et cetera, stuff like that on certain kinds of plants. But it's more about, organizing the space and creating the planters for viable growth and laying out a garden and finding spaces and, sort of setting everything up to garden. So, but it's not necessarily a big, like a sunset garden book. It's not quite like that detailed.
Okay. Thank you. Amanda.
Okay, so Rafa Counts on Papa. I am so excited to finally present this book. I have my copy right here of little Rafa. So Rafa Counts on Papa by Joseph Petta, a Southern California author, illustrator. And a little fun note, I love when they have books with kids or babies that have glasses, because I was that little kid with glasses, and I just love seeing other little kids with glasses because they're so cute. So Little Rafa, this is a STEM-based book with some counting and measuring. So this is Little Rafa. So he likes to measure, he likes to count. You can see how he has everything just show, because that's what Rafa does. And then he likes to spend time with his papa, and they go off on adventures. So they climbed exactly 14 branches, because you have to count each one before they get to their favorite one. So there's all kinds of fun stuff in this book with the illustrations, and it's just a really great story about a father and son spending time together. Again, the illustrations are just so charming and just so sweet. I just love the characters in this book so much. And then ultimately, this is like, how much do I love you? I love you this much. And there they are, just cuddling in the hammock, the father and son. Perfect book for Father's Day. And just a general book just to have for fun. So there it is. That's my fave. Rafa Counts on Papa by Joseph Petta. There you go.
That is adorable.
Oh my God, I know.
I'm crying. It looks so sweet.
I read it, I was like, oh my God, this book is amazing. And I could not wait to present it. So I was like, when I saw it was today, I was like, today's the day.
Does that little bird follow them in all the the illustrations?
I didn't actually notice the little bird.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I saw it in two of the illustrations you showed, so I was wondering if it's in all the. Anyway.
No, I don't think so. No, he's not.
Okay.
There's all kinds of even like, oh, look how cute. They're playing a pillow fort. I love it. I love it. And again, I just love little kids in glasses, right? I just love little kids in glasses.
For sure. More Four Eyes in books, please.
Right? Like, so we are a glasses wearing family, as you can tell. We are a glasses wearing family. One of my nieces, she used to love to steal our glasses when she was little, and she would put them on herself. So she would put like the glasses on her. She would love to steal our glasses and put them on. And we told her, you just wait one day and you'll get them. My oldest niece already has them, but the second one who used to wear them, she didn't have them yet, but I'm sure she'll get them soon.
Oh,
glasses people. She was
inevitable.
Yeah,
inevitable. I love Joe's art. We published a book with him eons ago called Pumpkin Fiesta, and he lived in Rosemead. And like, nobody know where Rosemead is, but I grew up on Rosemead adjacent when I was in high school. But his art is so great. You would.
I would.
I'm looking for the pumpkin book. Okay, Andrea's turn.
All right, I want to talk about The Cutting Room by Louise Welsh. This is actually the second book that from the same author, but I don't have a copy of that one. So I'm going to show you this one. This one is called The Second Cut. It's out now, publishing in the same time as the first novel in this crime series. But it's a very similar cover. So, and this is from Canongate Books. And it is a $16 trade paperback from Did I say Candidate? Yes, I did. And it's a very atmospheric cult crime novel that came out 20 years ago and sold about 115,000 copies at the time. So in some ways, it's not really a cult crime novel. When you sell over 100,000 copies, maybe it's not really a cult crime novel, but it does have all of the hallmarks of a crime novel. Let me just read you the quick condensed blurb. When Rilke, a dissolute Glaswegian auctioneer, comes upon a hidden collection of violent and highly disturbing photographs, he feels compelled to discover more about the deceased owner who coveted them. Soon he finds himself sucked into an underworld of crime, depravity, and secret desire, fighting for his life. So yes, it's got shades of the Gothic, obviously, from that description. And though Rilke is described as a dissolute Glaswegian auctioneer, he really does have a code. He cares about people, and he feels like the victims in these photos deserve justice, and he will go to great lengths to fight for justice. And Rilke is also seriously one of the best gay characters I've ever encountered in literature. I think that this will appeal to fans of the likes of Denise Mina, Irvine Welsh, Christopher Brookmeyer. And let's see, there's another quote from the LA Times Book Review. The cutting room fixes itself among a formidable modern pantheon that includes the novels of Ian McEwan and A.L. Kennedy. So it's definitely, it's got, it's literary chops here. It's just an incredibly compelling read, I have to say. And again, it came out 20 years ago, but it's been reissued to stand alongside the newly released, this title here, The Second Cut, where Rilke pops up 20 years later. So it's in real time, which is nice to see, like how he's mellowed, and actually also how he's solidified his personal values as he's on another caper. Just great stuff. And I hope you can check it out. The Cutting Room, Louise Welsh, $16 out tomorrow. And Cannon Gate, it's one of the Cannon Gate canons. Just like, a modern day classic, basically, in the genre.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Rilke named after the poet.
Indeed.
Cool.
He's not much of a poet, but he knows everything about art, as he is an auctioneer. So
Awesome.
He's a poet of life.
If I had to, I was going to talk about a poetry book for today, but you guys had so many good books today. So I am going to talk about a few events, because Julie would have my head if I didn't. No, she wouldn't. But
maybe Julie should show up then.
I'm going to share my screen here. If I, okay. Whoops, wrong screen. So tomorrow, why can't I get into? We are hosting Adriana Trig, or is it tomorrow? Sorry, friends. I'm oh my gosh. It's Wednesday, May 4th. And she was in the New York Times book review doing their by the book interview, and it was a lot of fun. So if you want to get an idea of who she is before signing up for our free event, I would recommend reading that. it was great. And I'll put the link in the comments. But tomorrow she's talking about her new book, The Good Left Undone. And she'll be in conversation with Taylor Jenkins Reid of Malibu Rising fame, among many others. So that is going to be a super fun event. And what else? We have, goodness, this is not working here. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Why am I even? Okay, that's fine. I stopped sharing screen. We have a bunch of cool events this week. We also have the former poet laureate of Los Angeles, Kim Dower. She's talking about her new collection of poetry. I wore this dress today for you, Mom, which is an awesome gift for Mother's Day. And if you're a World War II fiction buff, we have an event tomorrow on Facebook Live with 2 authors in conversation with Rachel McMillan. And then one more I'll mention here on Saturday, if you're in the area, at La Jolla Rifford Library, Min Lee and Dan Santat will be there talking about this new picture book, Blur, which is adorable. They are a fantastic team. I love Santat's illustrations. They are super cute. This is about a little kid who has superhuman powers, like a supersonic voice.
Look out.
I know that kid.
Yeah.
The ability to become invisible, among other powers. It's a super cute book. So they're going to be there on Saturday. That's another free event. So check out our website. Thank you everybody for showing up today. And thanks again to everyone who did Independent Bookstore Day. It was astounding. It's always great. Book selling looks like fun to a lot of people, but sometimes it's a tough business to stay in for a long time. You get kind of knocked around a lot. And every time we have an event like this where people come out in droves to support independent bookstores, it reaffirms my faith in it being an important part of the community and people really appreciating it. So thank you all for supporting us.
It was a good day.
Yeah, it was amazing. And actually today is still, the San Diego book crawl is still going on today. So if you still feel like getting out there and visiting the 11 stores that are part of the crawl, go for it. We'd love to see you. So thanks again. And with that, I guess we'll say goodbye. See you next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye all.
Look for me on the streets.